Hello, my name is Sarah Raphael, and I'm a senior at Bates College in Lewiston, Maine. This poster is centered around my thesis project, which is titled Why We Need Translingualism, an Anti-Racist Approach in the Writing Center. Over the course of the past year, I've been working towards answering my research questions. How can translingualism be implemented in the Writing Center as an anti-racist approach? And how can the experiences of multilingual students inform pedagogical changes in the Writing Center? Through theoretical research and a survey and interviews with multilingual, multidialectal, and multicultural students, I've been able to collect data and use the information to produce trainings for peer writing tutors that can be implemented in the Writing Center. The basis of this research is founded on the idea of language justice, which moves directly against linguistic racism, language hierarchies, and discrimination based on language backgrounds. Some of the theory I included speaks to how scholars like April Baker Bell, Min-San Liu, and Bruce Horner, and Vershawn Ashanti Young are transforming the ways we approach writing and literacy instruction. Translingualism and code meshing are pedagogical ways of supporting the range of fluencies, languages, and dialects that multilingual students possess. By dismantling negative language attitudes and advocating for equitable practices, translingualism is an actionable way to approach writing in the academy. My positionality as a white woman, undergraduate student at an elite institution, and role as a writing tutor directly contributes to privileges and biases I carry in the work I do. I acknowledge them and approach this work with humility. I am grateful for the scholars of color and multilingual students who made this project possible. Thanks to 55 survey participants and 11 interviewees, I was able to document quantitative and qualitative data. On my poster, I've selected a graph and a few excerpts from interviewees. The survey data pointed to trends of linguistic discrimination on a school-wide level that need to be addressed. The interviews were an opportunity to dive deeply into the experiences of individuals. Please take time after this video to read through these insightful comments from the multilingual students' perspectives. One of my 9 survey questions is presented in this pie chart. Do you ever feel pressured to use SAE in academic settings at Bates? 69.8% said yes, and 30.2% said no. Below the chart are just a few excerpts from my interviews. The first was the opening question to each interview. How would you define language justice? Interviewee 9 said language justice, well, for me, means being comfortable in an academic setting to speak your language or your dialect that you feel most comfortable with. The next question asks about navigating SAE in the classroom, to which interviewee 10 described their experiences with code switching and language attitudes. And the third question is about experiences with linguistic discrimination, and interviewee 6 offered an example about bias they face with their accents. Ultimately, I synthesized the data that was collected and drafted a 3-part series of trainings for peer writing tutors. Each training session was designed to engage students in conversations and scenarios while they develop robust definitions and strategies for their work. The first was targeted to defining language justice. The second was a combination of translingualism theory and practices, and the third was more of a workshop to create a collective statement of inclusivity. My conclusion is that translingualism can be implemented through thoughtful trainings that are grounded in the experiences of multilingual students. We are taking steps forward, and I really appreciate you taking the time to look at my project. I hope it is useful and starts conversations within your own communities.